It is the WWE Crown Jewel post show. Let's go.
Start.
Yes, indeed. We are here. We are live. We watched WWE Crown Jewel. At least I did. Did you? I got no Johnny. My brother's not here. Everybody just kind of, well, Johnny's wrestling, and my brother, we got illness around the studio area, so he couldn't come. So it's just me. You got me. Solo Dave here this afternoon for the Ringside Report Network. Rare that I'm solo here with you, but looking forward to recapping Crown Jewel that we just watched. Of course, AJ's on the chat already. I see AJ trying to act like he predicted something that he didn't. We've got UFC fights coming up a little bit later on this evening. We'll see if AJ predicted anything right there. I predicted everything right for Crown Jewel. It was kind of a predictable pay-per-view, right? Pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want to call it. It was what we expected it to be. A little bit less than I expected it to be, quite frankly. I thought it was not great, a little bit underwhelming. I expected a little bit more from this show. Maybe I shouldn't have, but nothing really stood out. Nothing really stood out as excellent. I think giving this show a grade on 10 is going to be a lot easier than figuring out what the match of the night was. Because I don't think we had any match that was particularly outstanding in any way. Nothing. This was a weak card, a weekly book card, and when it all came together, it really wasn't that special. As CJ points out, the crowd made it underwhelming. The crowd wasn't into it. We had one return tonight. Kairi Sane coming back to the WWE. Crowd didn't seem to know who she was or care about her or the match at all. Crowd was into some people, but not a particularly hot crowd. It was in an arena, about 13,000 capacity in Riyadh, not the big soccer stadium where they've done shows before. Crowd wasn't hot. Show wasn't hot. Not a very good effort for WWE from Crown Jewel. I expected a lot better. I expected the matches to be better. I expected the WWE to try a little bit harder. I feel like the effort wasn't really there from anybody. I feel like the WWE didn't really try to make this show special. There was nothing special about this show. You go all the way to Saudi Arabia for what? You hype up this Crown Jewel for what? Very ordinary show from the WWE. Felt like a house show that I had to watch in the afternoon. Not good. Crown Jewel was really disappointing. They better step it up for Survivor Series. Survivor Series better be something more than this. Hopefully they do have CM Punk locked into a contract, because that would be some effort put into it. Something to pop the audience. This show was not very good. Shout out to everybody tuning in live. You guys are keeping this show together for me. You guys are my co-hosts today. I got Leor. Leor in the chat says, agree with your take yesterday that Cody should be champ instead of Seth freaking. I thought Seth's match was pretty good. I think Seth and Drew was probably match of the night. It was pretty good. Like, it was a good match, but it didn't mean anything. It was for the title, and it meant nothing. Imagine that. Nothing was special. You knew Drew wasn't going to win. And at no point during the match did you think he was going to win. You knew LA Knight wasn't going to win. And at no point during the match did you believe that he was going to win. They did one false finish where LA Knight hit his BFT. Jimmy Uso put Roman's foot on the ropes. You could see Jimmy there ready to do it. At no point during that false finish where LA Knight hit his finisher so damn close to the ropes did I ever believe that LA Knight was going to beat Roman in that instance. So at no point during that match did I ever believe LA Knight was going to win, even when he kicked out of the spear. Didn't believe LA Knight was going to win at all. CSL Lawrence says, good afternoon, did not watch one highlight. Okay, well, I'll catch you up on, get you caught up on what happened. Leor says, couldn't help but notice today, does every match need to have interference? I can't recall. Is this how it was in classic Attitude Era main events? I mean, some of them. But Roman's matches typically have a lot of outside interference. A lot. Leor says, terrible pay-per-view. I watched Formula 1 at the same time, which made it more tolerable. I thought we could get away with a local Saudi jabroni now that Mansoor is off the roster, but nope. Away without a... Yeah, we had a Miz TV segment that was awful. Antoinette says, so boring, honestly. Yep. Doug Hepburn says, not great, like Leor said. So much interference. One good thing, it was on in the afternoon. Yeah. Andy Burrows, shout out to Andy out in London. In my opinion, only going to get worse heading over there. They will have WrestleMania. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have WrestleMania. And I didn't see what Will Ospreay has tweeted. What did Ospreay say? Did Ospreay say something crazy? Gotta love that Willie Ospreay. He's great. He put an eyeball emoji on Seth Rollins being the champion. I don't know. Is Ospreay heading to the WWE? That would be pretty good for the WWE. I'm pretty sure Ospreay's supposed to wrestle for AEW in a couple of weeks, though, so I don't know. Ospreay may be teasing a move to WWE. That'd be good for him. He is fantastic. Antoinette says, at this point, enough of Roman, and I love him. Antoinette is like the number one Roman Reigns fan, and she says, enough of Roman. CJ says, these matches could have been held on Raw and SmackDown nights. Yeah, I agree. Nothing felt like pay-per-view. Nothing felt like a big event. Give me your score on 10. Antoinette is jumping in. Give me her score on 10. Give me your score on 10. This show was bad. This show was bad. I predicted every single match on this card. I predicted every winner. I knew it was going to happen before going into it, and no one told me from inside the WWE. I could just guess because it was pretty obvious, and they didn't deviate from the plan at all. Wow. Paul Janky, I don't know, Paul, I'm sorry. Paulie J, 3 out of 10. Thank you, Paul. Welcome. Leor gives it 2 out of 10. Antoinette, 3 out of 10. She actually had a nap during Logan's match. Yeah, Logan's match with Ray was shaky. Leor says, why are we getting random Miz segments instead of a Gunther or Kevin Owens match? Very good question. Where was Gunther? You know what? They had a live event somewhere else today. The WWE was not just in Saudi Arabia doing a show. I believe they have a show, I'm going to say tonight. And I think some of the wrestlers, some of the stars of the WWE, yes. The WWE is in Rochester, New York tonight, 7:30. Carlito will be there. Gunta will be there. Becky Lynch is advertised. Shinsuke Nakamura. Omos is advertised. And Rick O'Shea. And I'm sure others. Right? Charlotte wasn't on the show tonight. Maybe she'll be in Rochester. So they have like a mixed Raw, SmackDown, Super Show in Rochester. They have a house show in Rochester tonight. So that's why we didn't see some people at Crown Jewel today. So they actually split up the roster. That's how important this show was. They didn't even put the whole roster on the show. They didn't even have everybody ready. They're like, let's just split it up. Let's do a show in Rochester too. Crown Jewel's not that big of a deal. It's basically like doing 2 house shows is what the WWE did. They did a slightly bigger house show in Saudi Arabia, and they're doing a smaller house show in Rochester. Riyadh and Rochester, the 2 big R's of the wrestling business. So I guess I'm not alone here. Andy Burroughs, 1 out of 10. People are not giving this high scores. I'm seeing 3, 2, 4 from CJ Scaife. Welcome, CJ. Doug Hepburn, 3 out of 10. Nick and I agree on the Seth McInfart match of the show. Yeah, I think it was the better match that we saw. It was pretty good. Drew hit that nice side suplex on the apron. Worked over Seth's back. They did some good stuff. The match was, decent. And it opened up, and I was like, that match, opener, better than I expected it to be. I said, oh, maybe Crown Jewel's going to be, and then downhill. It's not great. It is not great. So I'll give it a grade. I'll give it a 3.5 on 10. I'm somewhere in the middle, but yeah, it was pretty bad. 3.5 is pretty rough for me. I don't usually give that low of a grade, but this show was bad. Like, there's nothing really good about it. Usually a show this bad from the WWE will have one match where I go, okay, but it's going to get an extra point because this match was so awesome, and but there was nothing like that here. There was nothing on this show that I really enjoyed. Nothing. Crowd was into LA Knight. That was fun. I like that. Nothing good. So I'm going to go with 3.5 on 10. Give it an extra half because I'm being nice. Because I'm a nice guy. And I know that the wrestlers had to travel real far. And it sucks for them. But the show was just not a good wrestling show this afternoon from the WWE. One of the worst Saudi Arabia shows they've ever done. Seth Rollins beat Drew McIntyre in the opener. Seth kicked out from a Claymore at 2, hit a pedigree and the curb stomp for the win. Retains the World Heavyweight title. Damian Priest came out, teased the cash-in, but Sami Zayn appeared from behind and pushed Priest into the ring post and stole the Money in the Bank briefcase and escaped through the crowd, which will probably continue on Raw. Maybe Sami will be Money in the Bank man now. Sami in the Bank. That happened. Damian Priest, we started out, Seth and Drew was pretty good, and then Damian Priest comes out, and he's like, I'm cashing in. I was like, okay, maybe WWE's putting in effort for Crown Jewel. Maybe they're doing something. And then doesn't cash in. Sami steals the briefcase. And the show went downhill at that time and never really came back. Sami Zayn wrestled in the opener, beating JD McDonough for some reason. Crowd really liked Sami Zayn. Does JD stand for Judgment Day? Because I know he's with Judgment Day, and I know his name is JD. Have they ever explained what JD stands for? Is it Judgment Day? Is his name Judgment Day McDonough? It was not good. Nothing special there. Just all basic matches that you could have easily just seen on Raw. Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez to retain her women's world title. Nia Jax hit Rhea Ripley with a Fez press at one point that looked pretty rough. I was worried that Rhea had been injured by Nia Jax. And that was really the highlight of that match. Rhea hit a Riptide on Zoe Stark. She was on the second rope, hit her Riptide finish on Zoe Stark. Onto Raquel Rodriguez, who was in the process of pinning Shayna Baszler. So she kind of dropped Zoe on a pile, and Shayna was on the bottom of the pile, so Rhea pinned her to win. Not great. Solo Sikoa beat John Cena, which was the only match on this show where we did the preview last night, and Johnny and I were kind of on the fence about this. Could have gone either way. Cena kept talking about how he needed the win. But I also didn't think that Cena's run was going to extend past Crown Jewel. I thought he was pretty much done after this. He's been on WWE TV for a long time. Like, how long did you expect him to be here? So I figured this was the end of the run, so I picked Solo Sikoa to win. Johnny North picked John Cena. This was the only match where we picked opposite. And Solo did win. I think it means Cena's on his way out. He got an ovation from the crowd and kind of waved goodbye afterwards. Solo hit John Cena with like a million Samoan spikes. He hit him with 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then bam, a bunch of Samoan spikes, and then pinned him. Cena was like dead or something because he took a bunch of thumbs to the throat. So Solo beat John Cena. People were mad about that. But, I mean, Solo is a guy that you want to build for the future. Cena is a guy that's on his way out of wrestling. It makes sense to me. This was Solo Sikoa's first singles match on a premium live event for WWE. At least that's what Michael Cole told me. I didn't actually double check to see if that was true, but I assume it's true. And he won. He beat John Cena in his first ever singles match on a premium live event, so that's good for him. I got no problem with that. I like Solo. I think he's got a very bright future. How old is Solo Sikoa? He's going to be with the company long term, right? He's 30 years old. Yo, his middle name is Yokozuna. His name is Joseph Yokozuna Fatu. Damn, man. If he ever went like outside of WWE, he could just call himself Yokozuna Fatu, and that'd be his real name, and WWE couldn't do anything about it. Or just Joey Fatu. That's also a cool wrestling name. Solo Sikoa did not have to be called Solo Sikoa. He could have been called Solo Uso. He could have been called Yokozuna Fatu. This guy's real name is Joseph Yokozuna Fatu. That's crazy. Of course, you know, he was Yoko was his cousin. Wow. I didn't know his middle name was Yokozuna. 30-year-old Joseph Yokozuna Fatu. And he beat John Cena. Good for him. Doug Hepburn says, only surprise today was Kairi Sane, and that wasn't shocking because of earlier spoilers. Spoilers and leaks really hurt wrestling. I mean, sometimes, yeah. Although, if we hadn't heard that Kairi was coming back and she came back, would it be that big of a deal? Like, I like Kairi Sane, but she's not a major star in pro wrestling where she's going to move the needle and get, you know, 1 million more viewers to tune into your show. It's not, like, she's not a game-changing talent. She's a very good talent, but in the WWE's crowded women's division, especially on SmackDown, where they've got so much talent with Bianca and Io and Kairi now, Asuka is still around somewhere, even though we haven't seen her. She's technically on SmackDown. Charlotte Flair, of course. I mean, there's a lot of really talented women on SmackDown. Bayley. I thought Io might go to Raw because they need a little bit more there. You saw the 5-way. They need a little bit more on Raw. SmackDown's pretty loaded for talent in the women's division. I was surprised to see Kairi help Io. I was surprised to see them together. Leor says, I guess Kairi and Io are going to be best friends going forward. Is Damage Control done? Yeah, I'm not sure. So the finish of that match was Bayley coming out to help Io Sky. Io didn't seem to know why Bayley was there. Didn't seem to want her there. There's always been that friction between Bayley and Io. Even though they remain friends, they're kind of not friends. Io went to hit Bianca at one point, but Bianca ducked, and Io leveled Bayley and didn't seem mad about it, just kind of stared her down. And then Bianca attacked Io, rolled her into the ring, and Bayley recognized that Io hit her by accident, or thought she did, grabbed Bianca's foot as she tried to re-enter the ring, and then Bianca decided to grab Bayley, picks her up, walks her over to the announce table to hit the KOD, but then Kairi Sane, she shows up. It's a spinning back fist on Bianca, and I wasn't sure who she was at first because she had different hair. I thought it was Zelina Vega. Did anybody else think it was Zelina Vega? She was kind of small, and she looked like she had Zelina Vega hair. And we only saw her from behind at first, and I thought it was Zelina. But it wasn't. It was Kairi Sane. And she attacked Bianca while the referee was not looking for a long period of time. A long period of time. I don't know what Io Sky was doing to distract the referee. We couldn't see in the ring. We just knew that the referee wasn't looking. Leor thought it was Zelina too. See, yeah, it looked like Zelina. And the crowd had no idea who it was and didn't seem to care once they figured it out. And so Kairi attacks Bianca. Bianca starts getting counted out, but she comes back into the ring, makes the count at 9, only to get hit immediately with a moonsault by Io for the 1-2-3. And then Io and Kairi beat up on Bianca in the ring, while Bayley looks on outside the ring, shocked, like she didn't know Kairi was going to be there, and Kairi and Io celebrate together like they're a new team. So I don't know where that leaves Bayley. I don't know where that leaves Dakota Kai. I don't know where that leaves Damage Control. Maybe Kairi joins Damage Control. Maybe not. Who knows? Does it matter that much, you know? So that happened. That was a way to keep the belt with Io Sky, and now Io and Kairi are together. Good to see Kairi. I like her. She's talented. I don't know where she fits in on SmackDown. She's a team now with Io. Are her and Io going to go after the tag team titles now? Is Io going to drop the women's title to Bianca or Charlotte, and then Io and Kairi can go after the tag titles, take them off Chelsea and Piper? I mean, that team isn't very strong. Io and Kairi would be stronger. It's not like they can go up against Bayley and Dakota because Dakota's still hurt, right? She's not wrestling. She's not getting physically involved in anything, so they're kind of in a rough spot with that. I don't know what they do creatively with Kairi going forward. Weird. Getting some weird comments from a guy called Jackson Store. He says, WWE for life. I love WWE. I love you, Dave. Stop it. Stop what? I will never stop it. If you love me, you wouldn't tell me to stop it. You understand? Leor says, interference in every match. Antoinette says, too much interference, sick of it. Was there interference in every match? The Seth Drew match had interference, right? From Judgment. No, Seth Drew was clean, right? That was all right. Rhea, the 5-way, I don't think there was interference. There was just a lot of people in the match. Solo and Cena, I think that was clean too. I don't think anybody interfered there. Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio had some interference. The EO match, of course, interference. The Cody match, and then the Roman match. Yeah, there was a lot of interference there for sure. A lot of those matches towards the end. 3 or 4 in a row, right? Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio had interference. Then Io Sky, Bianca Belair had some outside interference from other people. Cody and Damian Priest, same deal with the Finn and JD and Dominic and Jey Uso and, and then Roman's match with Jimmy Uso and, right? A lot of interference. Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm so used to it in the WWE, it's just kind of how they operate that I don't even notice sometimes. But yeah, there was a lot of interference in a lot of these matches. Not a lot of perfectly clean finishes. Solo did beat John Cena clean, though, right? Pretty much. Miz TV did a Miz TV with a Saudi movie star named Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj, who they talked up as like the greatest thing ever. They were doing a lot of Saudi propaganda, promotion, whatever you want to call it on this show, for the airlines, for the town, for the city, for the country, how awesome they are, how cool everything is. And this Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj was another part of it, and he came out, and it was awful. Miz was saying how great he was. Like Grayson Waller came out, and he's like, oh, I don't like this guy. I guess Grayson Waller's like the anti-Miz. He's opposite Miz. Grayson Waller is like the heel version, and Miz now is turning babyface, which is awful. And they had like a thing. And then Miz, well, at one point, Grayson actually kicked this Hajjaj guy in the gut, which was pretty good. And then Miz kicked Grayson Waller and then grabbed him in a full Nelson and threw him into the corner, and Al-Hajjaj kicked him in the head. And then Al-Hajjaj, after Miz hit skull-crushing finale, Al-Hajjaj hit the people's elbow for some reason. And it was awkward. I couldn't even tell if the crowd in Saudi Arabia cared to see that. I can tell you the crowd in my living room didn't really understand what the hell was going on and did not like it. Babyface Miz, Grayson Waller, some movie star guy, kind of, that I've never heard of. Even movie stars that I've heard of I don't want to see in wrestling, let alone guys I've never heard of. I understand you got to play by the Saudi rules, but goddamn, pal. You're killing the show. This was terrible. This was one of the worst things they've ever done at a Crown Jewel. It was horrible. Horrible. Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio. He drove in on some sort of buggy thing for his entrance. Rey went for a lionsault and almost landed on his head, and Logan had to kind of slide in and save him. And people were saying, oh, Logan Paul saved Rey. Yeah, but he was also, nowhere near Rey. Logan Paul also didn't catch Rey where he was supposed to catch him. Logan Paul didn't do something to save Rey. Logan Paul screwed up and saved himself and saved Rey at the same time. Logan Paul should have been closer to catch Rey. It wasn't that Rey screwed up, it's that Logan wasn't close enough to catch him on that move because he wasn't ready, because he's an inexperienced wrestler. Logan Paul had a friend at one point give him brass knuckles, but then he dropped them, and Santos Escobar chased away the friend, but Logan managed to retrieve the brass knuckles. He took a 619, but then when Rey went for the springboard West Coast pop thing, Paul hit him with the punch with the brass knuckles and pinned him 1-2-3 to become the new WWE United States champion, which my buddy's AJ celebrating about. My buddy AJ is like, I told you Logan Paul was going to be WWE champion. He's going to do it. I'm like, yeah, but it's U.S. champion. It's not like it means anything. And that's what I say to the people that are mad about it too. It's the U.S. title. It doesn't mean anything. It's a secondary belt in the WWE. It's a mid-card belt. It means nothing. The belt means nothing. Oh, Antoinette's saying it was Santos that put the brass knucks on the mat. Maybe he did. I don't think that was on purpose. You think he did it on purpose so Ray would lose? Why would he do that? Because he's jealous of Ray for taking the U.S. title? I mean, maybe. You might be right. I didn't pick up on that, but you're probably... Yeah, I mean, there might be something there. But, whatever. Logan Paul winning the U.S. title, I think, elevates the U.S. title. It does something for the U.S. championship that really just kind of sits there doing nothing. Having a celebrity hold it is good for the belt. He can go to different places, go to his podcast, have that belt seen by more people than it usually is, right? He's going to give the belt and give the WWE some notoriety, and that's good. So good for him. I'm sure he's very happy winning the U.S. title, and I think it's good for the WWE to have a guy like that as U.S. champion. He's not WWE champion. He's not world champion. He's not anything big. He didn't beat a long-reigning champion. He beat Rey Mysterio, who is a legend, but he can take the loss at this point in his career. It's not a big deal. I have no problem with Logan Paul winning the U.S. title. I don't care who's the United States champion. Anybody could win the U.S. title. Any one of you watching could win the U.S. title, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever. Good for you. It doesn't matter. Logan Paul is actually a step up from a lot of the WWE superstars. Like, who would you want? Santos Escobar as U.S. champion? No one knows who Santos Escobar is. He's not going to raise the profile of the United States title. And it's probably not going to do very much for Santos Escobar's career to even be U.S. champion. It's a belt that really means nothing. What did Austin Theory really do with the U.S. title? And before that, Bobby Lashley. It doesn't mean anything. And yeah, maybe down the road it'll be Kevin Owens taking the U.S. title from Logan Paul. I know Kevin Owens mentioned Logan Paul. There was like a stare down at one point. I think that there's a Logan Paul-Kevin Owens match in the cards. And I think, we might push it all the way to WrestleMania. We'll see. But I think, maybe Kevin takes the U.S. title from Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes beat Damian Priest, hit 3 crossroads, pinned him, basic as hell. Cody hit 3 crossroads to beat Priest. I mean, it was just unnecessary. And, of course, the main event, we had Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso come out. LA Knight grabbed Jimmy. Roman hit a Superman punch and a spear for a 2 count. Could have been over there, but LA survived. Hit his BFT, but Jimmy Uso put Roman's foot on the bottom rope for a 2 count. LA Knight then got mad, went after Jimmy Uso outside the ring, put him through the announce table, but then immediately got speared through the barricade by Roman Reigns. Roman then grabbed him, rolled him into the ring, speared him again, and pinned him. It was a flat finish. Flat finish. Match was okay, but, the false finish with the BFT didn't do enough to make me believe LA Knight was ever going to win. Like I said, it does give LA Knight an out where, he could say, oh, I would have won, but Jimmy Uso screwed me, and, he could get a rematch or whatever through that, and fine. LA Knight didn't lose face by not beating Roman, but Roman did pin him in the middle of the ring. Hit him with a spear, 1, 2, 3. Match wasn't anything spectacular. I don't know where LA Knight goes from here. I don't know if he has the same momentum after losing to Roman. I hope he does. But I think that there will be a group of fans that believed he was the one to do it that will have lost faith, and we'll see how they respond when they see LA Knight again. I didn't think LA was going to be the one to beat Roman. I think he's got a lot of big things in the future still in WWE. But I think losing to Roman the way he did maybe hurt his momentum. But, I'm not even certain about that. This is a good test for LA Knight. I think he passed the test in the sense that the crowd wanted him to win. The performance was fine. He did what he had to do. It just wasn't spectacular. But I don't know if that's really his fault or more the situation. So that was Crown Jewel. I think we're pretty much done, right? Have I done all the matches? Are we good? What about Rhea Ripley's weirdo entrance? What the hell was that? Who are those dudes? You had like 10 dudes show up, and they were like lined up on either side of the entrance. Took them forever to come out. And then Rhea Ripley did her entrance kind of between them, and they raised these big cups that they had for her. I guess they were showing like, hey, we're men, but look, women are cool. We show respect to them. I think that was what they were trying to do. It's like Saudi Arabia is not so bad, right? It was one of those. That's what it felt like. It didn't. It just felt weird. I was like, what is this? So, yeah. It was a weird entrance. No one else did a particularly fancy entrance. Just Rhea. Yeah. Anything else happen on this show? No, nothing. That was it. That's Crown Jewel, okay? Shout out to Antoinette. You are a Ringside Report Hall of Famer, no doubt. So are you, Doug. Doug Hepper and Antoinette, of course. Jackson become a member and super chat. Dave will do almost anything for money. I mean, that's true. Almost anything. I think every man has his price, right? But yeah, I don't know. Go watch NXT. I am not going to watch NXT. I refuse to watch NXT. I will watch AEW. I will watch Collision. Is there anything on Collision tonight that I should be watching? Anything good happening on Collision? I'm either going to watch Collision or I'm definitely going to watch the UFC because I'm about to put some money down on the fights tonight, so I'm definitely going to watch the fights. UFC's in Sao Paulo, Brazil tonight. We're going with Caio Borralho and Jailton Almeida. Okay, that's the parlay. Borralho, Almeida parlay. It's a 2-fight parlay. It's a Team Dave special parlay tonight for UFC Sao Paulo, Brazil. We're going with Caio Borralho and Jailton Almeida. So go with that. You still have time to place your bets. Fights don't start till, I think those fights don't start till 9. I don't know when the main card starts, but probably 8, I think. So go with that. I'm probably going to watch UFC tonight. Or maybe a little bit. I'll probably check out a little bit of Collision. Yeah, bet99.ringsidereport.net to place your bets for sure. I'll probably watch Collision, maybe the UFC. This Crown Jewel wasn't too good. I kind of want to see Willie Nelson get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did that happen? That happened like last night. I saw a thing. It was on like Disney Plus. I think Willie performed maybe. I'd like to see Willie Nelson. I'm going to watch Willie Nelson. I think that's the most important thing. Watch Willie and then whatever wrestling and MMA I could fit into. Right? Can you say my name? Can you say my name? No. Jackson Star? Is that your name? Jackson Store? Yeah, done. You're welcome. All right? Did that for free, which the next one will cost you. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We made it. We got through Crown Jewel. So my match of the night, again, is Drew and Seth, even though it wasn't that good. And score on 10 is 3.5 on 10 because it was not a good show. Shout out to all the members. Antoinette, Leor, Doug Hepburn. See, I say the members' names a lot. You see? That's how it works. Antoinette, Doug, Leor. If you are a member at membership.ringsidereport.net or join.ringsidereport.net, I will say your name. Harold Schneider. I say your name. He says, Andy Burrows. Johnny mentioned a podcast yesterday, Something Turnbuckle. Is that you? Yeah, Andy's got a podcast out in London. Our buddy Andy, Hitting the Turnbuckle. Go check out Andy. Good man. So shout out to all the members, especially. I wanted me to say his name. Now I'm going to say the names of all the members just to prove the point. Leor, Antoinette, Harold Schneider, Doug Hepburn. All the members I'm seeing that support the Ringside Report Network, thank you for supporting the channel. There you go. Thank you, and I'll be back Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA when we will be previewing UFC 295 because I'm back at work next Saturday watching the UFC 295 pay-per-view here with you. It will be Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira and, of course, Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall for the interim UFC Heavyweight Championship. John Jones, Stipe Miocic, not happening next weekend. John Jones is hurt, but the pay-per-view looks pretty damn good anyways. So that's UFC 295 coming up next weekend right here on the Ringside Report Network. We'll be here Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time to preview that. Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you